5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Hi guys, this is Klazart, speaking on the audio commentary, and this is game 3 of the best of 3 matchup between Savior and Free. This is the round of 24 World Cyber Games Korean qualifiers, and Savior, with some great StarCraft, took the first game against Free, and Free must be in shock. I think he was anticipating that a slumping Savior, or a Savior who's been slumping for a while, would be easy prey for his Protoss skills, but it wasn't meant to be. I've been thinking about the strategy Savior used last game, and although it was kind of clever, it actually wasn't that new. What he essentially did was almost a standard 3-hatch, getting the 3rd hatchery down, and then getting a 4th hatchery to try and secure an extra gas, to try and secure the 3rd gas, and using lurkers to protect it. And that's kind of what Savior did, but it's just not a strategy that you envisage players going for Andromeda. And usually when Zergs do go for that strategy, they use Mutalisks to protect it and lurkers. In this case, Savior didn't actually produce any Mutalisks till quite late on in the game, and so it didn't really need to protect it. This is Othello though, and I don't think Savior will be able to pull off a strategy like that on this map, since it'll be that much more difficult for him to defend it, and I'm sure Free will look to scout early and make sure that he doesn't get caught off guard the way he did, because by the time he found that expansion of Savior, Savior's had 4 Sunkens up and 2 Lurkers positioned at the top of the ramp, and looks like the starting positions for these two players are going to be cross-map again, which seemed to work in Savior's favor last time. Savior starting up at the 5 o'clock position, playing Zerg in orange, Free playing Protoss at the top left-hand corner of the map at the 11 o'clock position. Savior obviously at the bottom right-hand corner of the map. So that's going to give Savior a lot of confidence. And yes, I mean, this is, I think, going to be more of a test, because in the last game he had such a massive lead on his opponent with his choice of build and his opponent's choice of build that it was always going to be very difficult for Free to win back unless Savior played catastrophically. That being said, we've seen another veteran player, and I'm not really going to mention them, throw a game after having a similar, or not such a huge, but a decentish advantage. Savior with the true drones out, obviously, in case he was intercepted by the probes, but again, to his luck. And this time, the difference is you can see how much earlier that probe has arrived for Free in Savior's base, because this is a much smaller map than Andromeda. Even though the positions are still cross-map, Savior now putting the spawning pool down, going for pretty much the same starting build as he did the last time, 12 hatch into pool. And Free just trying to harass Savior a little bit with that drone. Some very interesting looking StarCraft couple there in the audience. They seem to be very interested in the matchup, which they should be if they're watching Savior play. I definitely would be. I wouldn't be paying attention to my wife if we were watching a live StarCraft game together in an esports stadium in Korea. I would definitely be paying attention to the StarCraft, I think, although one can never account for one's dispositions at such times. Savior looks like he's trying to take his off expo as well. Free doing a good job of denying that with the probe. Savior's going to be forced to send at least a second drone out to try and ward this probe away. Free doing a good job of harassing Savior. Savior though did manage to get his natural expo unharassed, and this is slowing Savior down considerably, and he still hasn't. I still haven't seen that other drone being sent out by Savior, and maybe Savior has decided to change his strategy. Savior may be not taking the gas, so maybe that drone was a feint, but it looks like he's determined to try and plant that. I wonder if he is just trying to deceive his opponent rather than get that hatchery down. Savior now finally managing to get that hatchery down, get that drone, so it wasn't a feint of any sort. But Savior meanwhile has gotten his gas up and running. He's got his spawning pool up. He's once again gotten that drone in behind, because he's chosen. It looks like I think Free might have put down okay, he's put on a photon cannon on a gateway, and Savior just harassed that photon cannon. Savior might be producing 6 Zerglings here, and maybe that's why he's trying to deal a little bit of damage to that photon cannon, or maybe he's just going to try and force Free to bring some probes off the line earlier and not actually build any Zerglings. But remember, Free does have his probe in Savior's base scouting, so he's going to know exactly how many Zerglings Savior's produced, and he's not going to take the bait. But Savior really played some clever mind games in the last game, letting Free think that he was going to come in with the Mutalisk harass, and then the Mutalisk harass never materialized, and Savior used that time to actually, and because Free decided to play defensively, Savior used that time to get himself that 4th expansion and secure the 5 o'clock base, and that made all the difference in that game. Obviously, Savior again taking to lair early enough here. Free again with his probe, and this is something that I've been surprised at Savior's play, that he hasn't, once he got the spawning pool out, built any Zerglings. He's just gone all out for his macro and his economy, not using the Zerglings to usher that probe out, and it can make a huge difference when you're playing against a Protoss player to deny him that scouting information early on. Savior not choosing to do that. Free now getting his cybernetics core down, and the photon cannon obviously pushing away Savior's overlord. Savior is going to try and maneuver that overlord into Free's main, try and get a little bit of scouting information maybe, and see if he can see anything. Free would probably produce a Dragoon to take care of it once his cybernetics core is up, but Savior might still be able to see what next building Free puts down, because I don't think Free's got a hidden pylon anywhere, at least from looking at the minimap it doesn't look like it. Savior still hasn't produced any Zerglings, and that probe continues to scout unharassed and unworried in Savior's base. The Stargate going down for Free, so Savior is going to see that with his Overlord, and it'll be interesting to see what sort of strategy Free goes for goes for this time around. Xavier probably will go straight for Spire again because that seems to have worked for him in the last game, and Protoss players still haven't, I think, completely unlocked that build of the Zerg player. But I'm sure that Free will be more aware of this time, and Xavier indeed has gone straight for the Spire. Obviously, we didn't see the Hydra stand go down while the lair was building, so that would have given us a little bit of a clue anyway. But Xavier, yeah, going down for the Spire first, and I think this is a good strategy by Zerg players to counter this air superiority that Protoss players seem to get, especially on a map like this where drops can be critical. And looks like we're seeing a citadel. I don't know, we're seeing a bunch of gateways going down for Free. So even though he put the Stargate down, it'll be interesting to see whether he decides to go for Dark Templar this time. And I think Othello again is a map that's probably slightly easier to defend against DTs on than Andromeda. Well, I suppose Andromeda just as easy to defend. Xavier getting the hard list down now as well. He's got a couple of overlords hovering over that exploit. It looks like Xavier's producing a couple of Zerglings. Maybe he's going to try and catch his opponent off guard. We're seeing 3 gateways go down for Free simultaneously. Free's got a couple of Zealots and Dragoon to block that passage. Xavier's not going to be able to get through the Zealots in the front. Xavier's actually, oh my god, he's left a gap. Xavier's gotten the Zerglings through, and Xavier's actually trying to get the Zerglings all the way through into Free's base, and he's going to get the scout off as well. This is going to hurt Free big time. Xavier's seen the 3 gateways, and he's going to try and take out some of Free's probes. 1 probe gets killed. Free is doing well to not lose, will do well to not lose more than that. So he might lose another probe, so he only loses 2 probes. Xavier got, I think, 6 to 8 Zerglings almost in there into Free's base, and really careless by Free, leaving the path in for Xavier getting in, killing another drone off. Looks like he's going to take a 4th drone out as well, and a 5th drone. Xavier kills 5 of Free's drones, and that's going to hurt Free immeasurably. Losing 6 drones go down, 6 probes go down. So Xavier has killed 6 probes of Free's, and that's very early on in the game for Free to lose so many probes. He's harassing Xavier's overlords, but I'm sure Xavier's going to have Xavier had a couple of Hydralists in there. I'm not sure where they've gone. At least I thought he had a couple of Hydralists. And looks like Free, oh my god, Free not microing the Corsair. Free had that Overlord almost dead. He's only now brought the Corsair back around to bear on this Overlord. And unfortunately, that time that he lost is going to result in that Corsair getting taken out by the Scourges and not actually killing any Overlords of Xavier. So Xavier pulling the Overlords away, doing the requisite basic micro there, also harassing Free from getting his off expo down, even though he's got his own off expo. Free might actually be able to get this Corsair to the photon cannons and to the defense of his Dragoons. Again, the shorter distance of the map allowing him to do that. Xavier now has a Hydralist out. So Free's lone Corsair survives to continue to harass and scout over Xavier, and that is something that he lost earlier on. Xavier once again bringing Zerglings around the back, trying to prevent Free from getting that Nexus down. He's going to pick off this probe. Free microing it decently, trying to keep it within the... Even though Xavier's got upgraded Zerglings, Free loses the probe, not able to save it, so he's going to be forced to send another probe. But I'm sure that when the moment that probe was coming in harass, Free probably started sending another probe out. But these milliseconds of delay can make all the difference in a game of StarCraft like this. So Xavier definitely not going for the heavy macro in this game, realizing that he needs to. But crucially, he again hasn't produced many Mutalisks despite having the Spire down. He's not produced many Mutalisks. He's continued to get on him up. Templar Archives now up for Free, and he's obviously got speed upgrade. He will have speed upgrade Zealots. He's going to be able to make a push against Xavier fairly soon, and Xavier obviously has scouted that, so Xavier should be aware of it. And Xavier finally takes the Corsair down. Free not looking too happy, but he's not too badly off in this base. The problem for Free is that he has lost those five or six probes that Xavier managed to kill. Xavier kills off another probe, so Xavier's killed about 8 probes of Free's, but a couple of the probes that he lost wouldn't have hurt Free, but the ones that he lost in the mineral time as well, the mining time he lost in that, would have annoyed him. Those Zealots are obviously speed upgraded, traversing back across the map. Free has got relative map control right now. Xavier, despite having the Spire, has not produced any Mutalisks, which would be ideal panacea to these Zealots. He's actually gone for a bunch of Hydralisks, and I think those speed upgraded Zealots will probably just tear through those Hydralisks of Xavier's. I think Xavier's going to struggle to defend his base with just those. He's got a couple of Sunkens up in his main. He's got a Mutalist popping out now. He's got a group of Mutalisks filing out to help him against those Zealots. So he's seen those Zealots. He's seen the massive Zealots that his opponents produce. But because Xavier's gone for so late on the Mutalisks, Free's got his Photon Cannon up in his main as well. And I'm not sure if Xavier had gone straight for Mutalisks, if Free would have been able to defend it, considering that he only had the 1 Dragoon, didn't have many Photon Cannons in his main, and had put down the 3 gateways. But obviously Xavier wasn't to know that until he got those Zerglings into Free's base. So Free's now going to have the Photon Cannons up. Xavier coming in for the harass. This is quite a late Mutalisk harass, to say the least. And I think Free would probably have Xavier's going to actually try and catch. Xavier should actually try and catch Free's force in the middle. Free's got an Archon up in his base to defend. Xavier could have done some damage to Free's forces, maybe picked off the Dragoon, but Free's got 1 Archon, as well as 3 to 4 Photon Cannons, as well as a High Templar. Xavier looks like he's going to try and pick up that High Templar, not able to catch it, trying to pick up a second High Templar, losing a Mutalisk in the process. So great micro by Free, keeping the Mutalisk at bay and not taking any damage. And Xavier obviously committing himself to the Mutalisk. He needs to do some damage to Free's economy to make him pay for this. He's managed to pick off the High Templar and at least 3 or 4 probes of Free's at Free's natural expo. So that's going to hurt Free a little bit more, considering he's already lost. And Xavier auto-moving a Lurker right into those Photon Cannons, despite the fact that he right-seed him. So definitely, again, not as sharp as we would expect him to be, and we would expect Xavier to be trying to take that